What is up, everybody? I'm NoLucksGiven, and in this video we are going to be taking a look at Zelhua on the newest patch. And Zelhua did not really receive any big changes. However, there are some new things going on with tier 5 units, and Zelhua might be able to make use of them. However, I think that one of the strongest strategies that you can do that also uses a lot of those 4, 5, and 6 cost units that Zelhua gets to pick up on a discount is the Lightning Dragon strategy that I've used in the past two videos that I used pretty well with Pan's Shadow. So with this one, I kind of wanted to see how does Zelhua feel comparatively to Pan Shadow? I just played those two back-to-back Pan Shadow games, and I'm kind of trying to just get a feel for how Zelhua compares. And you're not always going to be offered the choice between Zelhua and Pan Shadow, but what's better? Getting to have the units be a little bit cheaper so that you can roll into them, or just being able to see those units more often. And in this video, just kind of exploring that concept and seeing what we can do with those things. So going to pick up some dwarves here now after getting one of my eggs cracked, and now we are up against the fates, and we are going to be able to crack them with our egg here, and we get to walk away into 3.0 with our second egg unscathed. And I do see this goat, but there's another really interesting option going on in this shop, which is the Magic Research Plus Sleeping Princess. So I'm going to lock for that, and I'm just going to pick up the other 3 2-cost units with our gold that we had going into the turn, our 5 gold for the turn. So just trying to play as strong of a board as we can, typical Zelhua stuff, and it is going to be strong enough against this Merlin to defeat them and walk away with our egg unscathed as well. And now next turn we will be able to make a 9/9, which is pretty nice, just trying to again continue to be as strong as possible until we hit level 4, and then we'll figure out some fun stuff that we can do. And we can even flip over a frog prince by picking up this sleeping princess, so that's pretty great. Up against Beauty this round, and she's going to cast an Earthquake, and then we are going to trade some units, but looks like we're doing okay. I think we might get our egg cracked now. No, this was actually really close, but we keep our egg for yet another turn, so that's pretty sweet. And now next turn we will be in 4.0, and then we'll start to look for Riverwash Mermaids and Lightning Dragons and that kind of stuff. So the big difference between Zelhua and Pan Shadow is that with Zelhua, you can still find tier 3 units once you level up. So that does definitely change some of the plays that you feel comfortable making, though this one was again just about playing the strongest board possible. I saw that there were 2 doublies alongside a Candy Rain, which would give us a pair of 7/7s to go along with our 5/5 and our 9/9, so just trying to keep the strongest board still here going into 4.0. And now we'll have a board that's kind of like hybrid dwarves and hybrid lightning dragons, and we'll see what we can make of that. But here's who's got all of the shadow assassins. It is the Peter Pants. So we will be taking our first damage of the game, taking 6 damage down to 39. Not too bad for a Zelhua that is on 4.0 to be at 39 health, taking your first damage there. So do have some interesting decisions to make here if we want to try to focus on dwarves at all, or if we just want to focus on looking for Slay stuff. But even Slay stuff, there was a Shadow Assassin there. So some interesting things to consider. I do think I will pick up a Fanny just to try to have a little bit more power on this current board. And then I will pick up a Lightning Dragon. There is also a Masquerade Ball in this shop, which definitely could have been worth considering, especially with all of the powerful 5-drop units that are there right now. And I might even lock it because, well, so if we lock it, then we can cast it and we'll have 7 gold, so that would be enough to purchase 2 of the things. Or we could purchase all 3, or potentially even all 4, if we sell some things that we are otherwise hanging on to. It is good to cast spells too, because we have this Cinderella, so that's not like my primary concern, but does seem like it could be decent for us. So Lightning Dragon gets to get in there and take out a Riverwash Mermaid, which is what we are looking for now, but we are also going to take a bunch of damage. My opponent's got a nicely supported board there with their Sadrak, so we are going to take some damage, but then I will fire off this Masquerade Ball, and honestly, not super excited about any of that stuff, so I am just going to roll after Masquerade Balling into the shop. And then I do want to pick up this Lightning Dragon, so we'll find a place for that in a moment. But I pick up that, and then I just start rolling again, and we do have the option to take Crafty here, and Crafty would give us a decent amount of stats, though it is certainly a little bit awkward locking for a 2-cost unit when I want to just be finding those Riverwash Mermaids, and that's kind of a problem that Pan's Shadow doesn't have to deal with, though it's weird to call it a problem when locking is obviously a choice, but that is what we are going to choose to do. So now we're up against Wonder Waddle, and they've got a bunch of Medusas, and unfortunately we don't attack into any of their Medusas. So this combat could be a little bit tricky. Let's see. Now we're going to start attacking with our Fannies. Yeah, I think we've lost this one, unfortunately. It's not too bad. Oh, but then they Cats Call us, so it actually is too bad. They hit us for 10 out of nowhere, which really doesn't seem that fair. But I will take the Crafty. It's a pretty large unit, and could go for Secret Stash. I think that that's fine. We just lost a combat. We could definitely lose another one, and that will give us bonus gold going into 5.0, and maybe we can make use of that nicely with Zelhua. I'll pick up my third Fanny as well, and I guess, yeah, we could take Dragon's Nest. I've got 2 dragons. Why not? So I'll pick that up there, and now we've got a pair of 5 16s, so not too bad. I could still roll one more time and find the Riverwash Mermaid, but actually we find a doubly, which is pretty good as well. So I'll be able to pick that up, grab a tier 3 treasure here, and it's gotta be treasure map, right? With the fact that we are about to be 5.0 as Zelhua. It is a little bit awkward with Cinderella, but we're about to be 5.0. Maybe I'll take a tier 6 treasure with the dragons. I just want to not grab a tier 4 treasure with Cinderella. That would be a little bit awkward, but we also pump up our Crafty as well this turn by a considerable amount by making 2 more treasures. So that is pretty good. And, or did we get 3 treasures? We got 3 treasures this turn. So, excuse me. Again, that is something that Pan Shadow does not have access to do, but it's also like a little bit of a distraction and something that you kind of have to do because we just went through level 4 without seeing a single Riverwash Mermaid. So that part is a little bit awkward, but we could potentially get a treasure now out of Lance, or we could get a treasure out of some Nyan Sea Terrors. I do think that these burning trees are really strong, so I am just going to be picking up those as well. And Feasting Dragon, also pretty good, especially when we already have the Dragon's Nest to give it +5/+5. It's pretty tempting. I also like the end. I wish I could just the end Cinderella and not trigger the quest actually, but it's really awkward because if we cast it, then we're going to be triggering the quest for Cinderella. So what I'm going to do is just buy the Feasting Dragon. I think that it can be fun with this other stuff that we got. And then I think I might lock 9 Sea Terror because of the fact that it'll give us a cheap tier 7. And do I sell this here? Okay, I do. I sell the I sell Cindy so that I can cast Magic Research on the Burning Tree just because that'll give it +1/+2 effectively. And I want to get rid of Cindy because I want to be able to freely cast spells and not have to worry about that messing us up and denying us a tier 7 treasure. So that's kind of the plan, is to pick up these 9 Sea Terrors, grab a tier 7, and also potentially just have a strong board at the same time with this dragon and this burning tree, kind of just trying out all of these interesting new units. Unfortunately, we are going to take a little bit of damage on this one, but we also gain 3 health, so we only take 5, and now we've got 15 gold for the turn. So I'll pick up the first 9 Sea Terror and we'll still have 12 gold. I can pick up another Feasting Dragon. That gives us a different option for something that we can triple this turn. And you can see I like the River Wash Mermaid, but I am also kind of afraid to go into it here. Oh, do I go into it still? That's kind of interesting. No. Okay, I didn't think so. I kind of just want to prioritize finding a tier 7 treasure because tier 7s are too sweet to not do. And we've got 2 more rolls to find it, potentially more if I want to like sell Fanny 1 more roll to find it, selling the Sleeping Princess. And we actually get there with a triple onto the new Feasting Dragon. So pretty sweet. And Feasting Dragon is going to have a ton to feast on, as this is going to allow us to pick up a Holy Grail. There's definitely some considerations for Excalibur and Fairy Queen's Wand too, if we just want to get, well, I don't know. There's probably not really a reasonable excuse to take Excalibur, but the Holy Grail is good. So we will be on 5.2 next turn, meaning that we will need to pick up some XP on our Holy Grail turn. But one of the reasons that I was really excited to showcase this game is because we've got the new key bindings now. So now we can press spacebar or R to roll and control or L to lock, though I probably won't make use of that one just because I'm not paying enough attention. We survive with 6 life. That is just enough. That is a perfect amount of life. So now Holy Grail, which I already thought was pretty powerful, is even more so. So the first thing that I'm doing is just rolling for XP, but I will stop down and take some other things, grab some other treasures while we're at it. I guess I skipped the treasure. I'm just trying to make as much use of my turn as possible and really find that XP spell. And there it is. So now we can roll for some tier 6 units and figure out what our comp is going to be. I'll take a Hercules to start things off, and then I see a Baba Yaga and a River Wash Mermaid next to each other, so we'll make it work. I'm going to flip around some things a few times, but we can make this one work here. I'll grab another River Wash Mermaid, and now I am just looking for a Jormungand, and you can see I can roll the shop while I am like rearranging my board even a little bit, and it's still a little bit tough to multitask, but it's so much better than it used to be. I'll get to pick up an Evil Eye here as well to double all of my support bonuses, and like you can be doing all of this while you're rolling, but honestly, this is one of the most efficient Holy Grails I've ever done. And it's not even over. I get one more treasure. I unfortunately play a unit down here. but honestly, it's kind of fine. We've got just a bunch of stats with everything else going on. It is a little bit awkward that our Feasting Dragon doesn't get to slay, because that is one of our scaling units, or would have been one of our scaling units, while also scaling the shop, which could have been nice. But we are still going to get the win and the kill onto Beauty, and we're still Zelhua here now with on level 6, so can't complain too much. I'll take a deck of many things that I didn't get a chance to pick up on before, and now it's time to round out this Slay comp and figure out what else we're playing. We could play a Gumble, or not a Gumblegore, a Grimsoul. Could play some of these Echo Woods here as well, and then could just look for some other slaying options. Interesting. Yeah, there's definitely a few different options for us to play right now. I kind of want to have the Riverwash Mermaid and the Baba Yaga supporting this Lightning Dragon, like so, because generally I think that is pretty powerful. And then I'm also planning on having the Feasting Dragon doing some slaying here too. I find 2 more Lightning Dragons, which can add a little bit more stats to the board. We don't have a horn, but if we're able to triple these dragons and get the horn, then obviously that is a pretty huge power spike, so that is what I am looking for here. If I don't find it, I'll just put this Hercules back in. And then I do find another Jormungand as well, so that is also looking pretty good. I'm not sure if I could put it in. I could put it in over the Feasting Dragon, but I think that this is fine. I want to try to get this Herc treasure for now. There are some sweet treasures that we can get for that for us, and our dragon, our first dragon's going to be able to slay. Our first dragon is just barely not going to be able to, but we are still looking good. They kill our Baba Yaga, but our Lightning Dragon will now finish the job, and we'll almost get that Hercules treasure as well. And now we'll get to complete this dragon, and we get to take Horn of Olympus and toss the Dragon's Nest. Despite playing a bunch of dragons here, we, I think, are done with this Dragon's Nest, because Horn and Eye and Deck are just such good late-game treasures. And because I've got the Horn and the Eye, I am going to pick up another Riverwash Mermaid, and then I could pick up another one. I don't even know if I need it. I think I just want to try to roll for Baba Yagas, because we are Zelhua. There is a Lancelot in this shop, but probably too late for that one, so let's just keep on rolling. Could lock a Pigomorph. Honestly, probably should. It's probably the finals, so I'll lock this Pigomorph and get to make some use of that now as well, but mostly just hoping that the Hercules gets to connect, and I'll remove the deck of many things, and would love to pick up, I mean, the main one is like Phoenix Feather, but if we can grab that, then we'll grab the Pigomorph, and then just roll for a triple onto Jormungand, or potentially like the Baba Yagas or something. But these dragons are doing some nice work, and honestly, everything did come together pretty well with Zelhua. And I suppose that is the one thing that Zelhua does definitely have over Peter Pants, is Zelhua is going to have a much easier time finding tier 7 treasures. Whereas Peter Pants really is just playing 4, 5, and 6 treasures. It's going to be tough for Peter Pants to, or not Peter Pants, sorry, Pan Shadow, to find those level 7s, because you just have less access to treasure map runestones and questing treasure, unless you get like an early Cindy and go off with that. But we get Phoenix Feather here. That is pretty good. I'm going to toss the deck because the other treasures are so good for our current comp, and then I will cast the Pigomorph. Then I'll put in this other Jormungand and, excuse me, start rolling. Seeing if we could find some other sweet stuff for the comp, which is really just another Jormungand at this point, and maybe that's asking too much, but Yeah, the definitely sweetest thing about this game in particular is playing Holy Grail with the new actions or the new key bindings. And honestly, I mean, I really like playing Storybook Brawl, especially when I'm not playing on stream. I just lean back and I just use my mouse to play. And like that I can only play it with, one hand and not have to be like super dexterous or like haunched over and figuring out, you understand what I'm saying. Like, I don't have to, I feel more relaxed when I'm playing it. And that's going to be different than when you would be playing it and always using spacebar to roll or something like that. So that's not something that I'm always going to probably be in the habit of doing. However, on those turns where it matters, it's definitely important. And I don't remember if it was in this video or the other video that I put out today, but I definitely didn't lock a shop that I wanted to lock. I just didn't have enough time to do so. So that is going to be relevant to your games. And if you get used to making use of the keybinds, it will make you a better Storybook Brawl player for sure. I'll feed to the Kraken and then buy this Baba Yaga. But not going to be doing anything else here. And I mean, I feel like this game is basically over and done with. I don't think I wind up doing anything crazy in this one, like putting the Hercules back in or anything like that, but hanging on to them just in case. We have some extremely large dragons. There's always the chance that when you're kind of all in on the dragon strategy like we are, then your opponents could pick up some soul tax and things like that, which is definitely possible right now, and potentially a consideration for the Mordred player, and a reason to hang on to the Hercules, but I'm not sure that is really going to be relevant in this one. But I guess now's the time to figure it out, because now is the last combat of the game, and hopefully we can find something relevant for it. We are Zelhua, but this is obviously where I think Pan Shadow does shine a little bit more. If there's something that you're looking for, it's a little bit easier to find it when you are Pan Shadow. So I'm going to sell out of the Hercules and the 9C Terror so that we can get the triple onto this Baba Yaga and go all in. And the question is, do I want to Mimic Chest and throw away either the Phoenix Feather or the Horn of Olympus? But Horn of Olympus, Phoenix Feather, and Evil Eye are just such good treasures that it really is tough to toss them. So I do think that I am going to skip on this one, but I could certainly see an argument for doing something else if you were so inclined. You could take out the horn technically, and then the dragons are still supported by the Riverwash Mermaid, but what's the point of that if... I mean, I think you'd probably get rid of the Phoenix Feather, but that's just a little bit risky. Though the Phoenix Feather is currently on the dragon, so it's not the best either. If it's going to resummon the dragon, so who really cares about that? But now it's going to resummon the Jormungand's. So obviously that is a lot better. We are going to get our slays in. My opponent did not have Soul Tack, so we are going to have some extremely large Jormungand's, and my opponent's only hope is their Singleton Frontline Pumpkin, if that is able to give them something good that will allow them to scam both of our Jormungand's, and honestly at this point our dragons too, because we are absolutely huge. But looks like that's not going to be the case. We are going to get those slays, and we are going to get the win. So there you go. This really was me trying to figure out where Zelhua stands, but Honestly, I think this game was kind of outshined by the Holy Grail with the new key binding. So definitely check that out if you haven't already. And also check out my YouTube channel as well. I don't know. I just felt like that worked. But that is going to be it for this one. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm NoLucksGiven. Peace.